Tchpack, Arya, and Adobe Illustrator. We are going to go from mockup all the way to finishing the Tchpack, and this will be divided into steps. So if you want to skip ahead, the transcript should be down in the description. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I have went ahead and made this mockup of this jacket here. To make a mockup, you can upload any image. It could be a piece of clothing that a model is wearing. Any image works. I mostly like to use flat images just because I always get the best results. And if you do one generation and don't get the best results, go ahead and try again, and it should give you something that's a bit different. As you can see here, I have this jacket here, and the first thing that I am going to do is remove these lanyards here. And to do that, so once you do a mock-up in Adobe Illustrator, it's going to give you vectors that look like this. And as you can see, some of the lines are attached to other ones, but other things such as like the stitching seams, those are separated by each, as you can see right there. But to delete something like this from the mockup, all I have to do is, let me zoom in on this. I can go ahead and do this. We can go ahead and select it. Zoom in a bit more. If you hold down on the erase button, you'll get a knife tool. I like to use this tool here. Then I'll go ahead and erase or cut there. And this is just to separate the lines, and I'll explain that here in a second. I'll go ahead and cut that right there. And if you hold down the Option key on a Mac and drag across, it'll make a straight line. So I like to do that as well, just so I don't catch anything else that's in the way. And to erase this, you see if I select this, it'll select every little node that is attached, not a node, anything that is attached to the line. And then if I erase, I could get rid of that, and we could go ahead and do that there since I cut this one as well. And I would like to get rid of these little lines here. And let's go ahead and get rid of the bottom here. So the reason why I do like to cut it is if I select this, as you can see, it selects most of the piece, but we just want to delete a few from here. And just to actually make this one easier, I'll just go ahead and do this. Option key down, and this will just select the bottom, get rid of that. And I'll keep those. Actually, we'll get rid of these as well. And since these lines are a little bit curved, I'll leave that, get rid of that. And then we could go ahead and select, delete, select and delete, and we could delete that as well. All right, and then let's go ahead and get rid of this one. All right, so now that we are left with a cleaner piece like this, but as you can see, we still have more holes. And just to fill holes like this, we could go ahead and lock the layer, the bottom layer, that is just the jacket there, but I don't want to interfere. If I add on new lines, I don't want it to interfere with the current. So I could go ahead and lock this layer, go down here, add a new layer. Then we'll come back in, zoom back in here. Okay, so to fill up a line like this, when you already have it on the base, make sure you have the first layer locked. And then I'll go ahead and just come in here, add that, like that. And these lines are super straight. They do not have to be perfect. As you can see, they do not match there, but if you want more perfection, I'll just go ahead and double click using the select point tool there, and come back here and just drag this down as well. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and do the same for all these the solid lines, and then I'll go ahead and show you guys how to add another stitch line that is much cleaner. Then now to do a seam line or some stitches, we could do this here. We have the pen tool, and then I could go ahead and instead of doing a fill, we could do a stroke. Just do a simple line from here to here. Looks already thick enough, just like as thick as the other stitches. Go ahead and click on stroke on your right menu here. Click on dashed line, and let's do a rounded cap. And then let's do the gap. Let's do it to a 3 point, just because a 12 is that much. Also, I think a 3 is a little too much as well. Let's try a 2. Looks much better. Does look a little thick, so I'll go ahead and do a 75 on that. And then we could just do, let's add another one there, just to fill in the gap, and another there. All right, now, so if I wanted to remove the head and to add a different head, I could also do this by doing the same, basically the same mechanisms. I could lock this layer and just go ahead and go back to the base layer here. And we'll do the same thing, because as you can see, if I select this head here, it selects the whole jacket, since everything is combined. And if you want to separate the head from the body, we can do the same thing, where I zoom in, get the knife tool, and then I can precisely cut connecting points. Like I could cut there. As you can see, this is removing it from the shoulder. Then I could do another cut there, another cut there. Basically cut all around, and the head will be separated. And after you're done cutting, as you can see, I do have the head now, and we can go ahead and remove it and get rid of all the other lines, and then add a new head to it. All right, now for components, I could do the same thing. This allows me to remove a piece from the product that we have uploaded. So for example, if I want to remove this hood from this jacket, I could just go ahead and say okay, and then it'll go ahead and remove the hood and just give me that piece by itself. And then I could come back over here, cut it up, and add it on here. If we wanted to add this type of hood to the jacket, we could go ahead and do select it all, Command C, go back here, and then we could do a Command V, which would allow us to erase this head and just go ahead and add this on top. Right now, to color it in, I do like to come in and add a new layer at the base and make sure that everything else is above it. So as you can see, the jacket is above it. And then to color it in, I like to use the pen tool just to make sure I'm in bounds of the whole jacket. Then I'll come here and just start going all the way around. All right, so now that I am done coloring here, we could go ahead and add a bit of a shadow inside of the hood, just so the manufacturer or anybody who's looking at the mockup knows that this is inside of the hood, because as you can see right now, it's one layered. And to add a shadow, I could go ahead and lock this base, this green base, add a new layer, and then come back and zoom in, and let's just go ahead with a darker green, just go straight down. And then I'll go ahead and skip this part through. All right, so I've added the hood green, the dark green for the hood interior, and then let me just go ahead and add a logo to this jacket, just for tutorial purposes. So I could go ahead and we are gonna place this chest logo right around here, and let's just go ahead and make it white. All right, so now I have a pretty simple jacket. All right, so now that we do have a pretty simple mock-up with our base color and a bit of a dark green interior just to separate the two, I'll go ahead and show you guys how Arya works. And Arya is the assistant that is gonna help us put the whole tech pack together with a lot of accuracy. All right, guys, so before I get started with showing you guys how Arya works for tech packs, let me just show you guys how it works in Adobe Illustrator, so you could be able to use this for a few more things than just tech packs. So Arya works, it can take over your canvas and it could do a bunch of things for you. If you don't know how to use Adobe Illustrator, this is the best assistant that you could use that will do it all. So for example, I created a new document here, and I could say, draw me a star on the canvas, make it red. And there you go. So Arya is able to draw things, as you can see. And let's just test out with another thing that we could do is a text tool. Can you write a title that says All Stars? all stars at the top. Excuse my spelling, but it'll go ahead and do the same thing where it's able to add text, and there you go. And yeah, we could basically do anything. As you can see, it did this line by line, and we could select all that. All right, now let's move on to the fun part of letting Arya assist us in making a tech pack. So usually a tech pack, most of the tech packs that I create usually have about 46 pages, just depending on how many details I want to put in the tech pack. So usually I do cover sheets, BOMs, callouts, and size chart sheets. With this one, I'm kind of gonna go over just those 4 pages, and we'll start with the cover sheet. I'll go ahead and ask Arya. I'll just ask, let's create a cover sheet. Excuse my spelling there. All right. One thing that I really like about Arya is when you are creating a tech pack or anything for your brand, it does ask some questions just to make sure that everything is getting placed accurately. So for example, it remembers what my brand is, my name, and gives some suggestions as to what I'm working on and what we should do. And I just have to answer a few questions. So I'll go ahead and do a sample size medium because I always do mediums, it's what I wear. And everything should stay the same, such as that's the style, control 001. Since I don't know what kind of military, I will say let's use. So as Arya goes on, it does ask questions just to gather a lot of information about what you are creating. And so for this one, 10-ounce cotton, I think let's go ahead with this one. There you go. So I answered all the questions, and then Arya goes ahead and creates the cover sheet by giving us some of the information up here, such as my brand name, my name, what I'm creating, the main fabric, sample, and as you can see, size range and everything. Any size that is in the bracket on the tech pack, that's going to be your sample size. All right, so now we'll go on and let's create a bill of material sheet. So I will just go ahead and ask Arya, let's create a bill, or just say BOM sheet. And as you can see, it says I could save that and move to the next page, which is the BOM. So let's go ahead. And as you can see, Arya is already adding another page here that's going to be for the BOM, and we'll just let it do its thing. So it's asking for, before I build the rows, I need to log in a few decisions for this. So we got the main fabric, the chest graphic. For this chest graphic, I actually want to do embroidery. Let's do chain stitch embroidery. Just answer it like that. Don't have to type in anything. So Arya is also able to create fabric swatches, anything for the buttons. And as you can see now, Arya is adding some of the stuff to the canvas, and I'll go ahead and zoom in just so we can review it as it goes. So main fabric is the 10-ounce cotton sateen, 100% with the matte finish. And we have the polyester embroidery thread, raised 3D stitch, and that's going to be in white. As you can see, it has all the snap buttons, boards, rib trims, everything. So it gets all the colors on there. All right, and one thing that I really like about Arya when it comes to this like bill of materials, it does do the fabrics. So as you can see, if we zoom in here, it does a realistic look for the type of material that we're going to be using, and even for E. So if we have E here, then we could look at E, and that's going to be the rib trim. And same thing for kind of like these, like C is going to be for the snap buttons, and they're going to be a brass look. So it's suggesting that we do a callouts page. Yes, let's do a callout page. And same thing again, it's going to do the callouts. It's going to create a new page for callouts, and it's going to do everything for us again. As you can see, it moved copied the mockup over. And then it's going to do the same thing, add a header to it. Always needs a header. And then it'll go ahead and place some of the callouts on there for us. So first, let's see. So it's asking pages 7. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and say it looks good. Just add all all 6 of these. All right, so Arya is done putting all of our callouts together, and we could just go over. So for example, you can see one here, draw a chord head, so we could leave that there. And also we are able to move these just for better placement accuracy. So for example, I moved the 2, just place it exactly on onto the logo, 3D embroidery, and number 3. Oh, and then we could do the same here with this one. So we can make that just a tad bit smaller, just for better accuracies. 4, that's fine, it's on the pocket. And then we could do 5 here, which is for the ripped cuffs. Then we could do 6 as well. And there you go. Now you have a page that has the callouts, and then a page that has a table for the legend. All right, now we can move on to the next page, which Arya is suggesting is going to be size chart. And one thing that I really like about Arya when it comes to things such as size charts, it's able to do research for us and also save these measurements for our brand. Anytime we do any piece that's either similar, this brand usually makes clothes that are a bit wider fitting, everything that a brand assistant would do for you. It's going to do the same process of asking a couple of questions before it just puts any type of size chart. So it's asking, do I have a reference for the URL, or paste the measurements, or we could do grade from the base. And then I give it this link, which is where I was able to get the same image that I used for my mockup. And then we just let Arya do all the research, and it's gonna come back, put the whole thing on the new page for us. And as you can see, Arya was able to generate an accurate size chart for us. And there you go. So now you have a full size chart with everything lined out: chest, sleeve length, hip height, shoulder width, body, and bottom sweep or bottom opening. And as you can see, it has a tolerance of half. All right, and there we have some of the basics for a tech pack, like the cover sheet, bill of materials, callouts, and size charts. You could do so much more with Arya, such as making all of this realistic and keeping it on tech pack. If you want to put this piece on a model, you could do that as well with consistency, either putting the model in different areas, different settings. Try out Arya, and that is all. Thank you.